Hello and welcome back to our tutorial series. In our previous video, we saw how to create a web API and we ran the web API, and from the values controller, we tried to fetch value from get action method, and it produces response in XML format. In this video, we are going to force to change response into JSON format. Let's see. So if we run this API and see the output, we are going to receive the response in XML format. And as you remember, in our last video, we were accessing our values controller API. So the URL was /API /values, and it was producing response in XML format, and it were giving the string response as value 1 and value 2. If we come back to our code, we can see that it is returning the string array, and here we are getting value 1 and value 2 in XML response. So let us change this response to JSON. Let's do it. Go to Web API config file. In the Web API config file, here we have to add the formatter, and we'll see in a minute how to do that. Like this, we have set the default route. In the same way, we have to set the default response for our API. So to do that, we simply need to see config dot formatters, and under formatters, select JSON formatters, and under JSON formatters, we are going to check supported media types, and under media types, we are going to say media type header value as it could be text or HTML. Okay, here it is showing us an error, which is nothing but we are missing some directives. So like here we have using system.web.http. In the same way, if we click here and if you click on show potential fixes, so here it is saying add missing usings, which is nothing but using system.net.http headers and using system.web.http and all that. So you better click on add missing usings. So here we can see that it has got system.net.http headers, system.web.http, and here if you see in quick actions, so it is asking us to remove the unnecessary usings. It is completely optional. If we want to remove it, we can click on remove unnecessary usings because we are not going to use any functionality from these directives. Since we are in a running mode, that's why it is still showing us this green line. So let's stop the application. And now the error has gone. That means in the running application, if you try to add something, it cannot be simply added and work straight away. So you have to stop the running app, and then you have to add the proper formatter, which we have added here. Okay, config.formatters, JSON formatter, since we want to show our response, return our response in JSON. That's why you have to select JSON formatter. And under JSON formatter, we have something called supported media type. And under that, we are creating an instance of media type header value, which is of type text or HTML. So this line is enough to convert our response to JSON response. And the relevant using directives are system.net.http headers. Now we will go to values controller, and here we will try to change the response. Here instead of returning I enumerable of string, we will say HTTP response. HTTP response message. Okay, so that means we are going to respond our endpoint, our action with an HTTP response. And instead of this, we will return an object. Let's create a data table instance, and it is under system.using.system.data. So you have to select, or in Java we call it as import, in C Sharp we say it as using. Okay, so here we have created a data table, and that in data table instance we are going to add values. So here we are going to add columns. Okay, so inside add we'll give department ID. Let's give double quotations here. We'll copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Here we'll say department ID, department name, and then we'll add some rows. And in rows, we'll say one comma. Here we'll say one comma IT, and select it, copy it, and paste. Say two comma operations. So here we are just trying to add some data as a data table instance, and then we are going to return it. So return request dot create response. Under create response we are going to add http as code dot ok comma dt. That means we are sending back an HTTP response which is okay, and we are going to provide the data table values. Okay, let's run and see what is the response we are going to get. So once you run it, it will open a browser, and here we can type values, and hopefully it will display the result in JSON format. As you can see, now we are getting the result in a JSON format. So this is the end of this video, and in our next video we will see how to test our API using Postman. Until then, thank you, goodbye, take care, and we'll see you in next video.